tequila are we trying this week?
Oh, just getting right into it. Okay. I was going to get personal asking how you felt
Oh,
about.
I feel good.
You feel good about
I feel
life? I
good.
feel great about life.
Well, good.
That's what's up.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so the tequila we're going to try today is called Suavecito Añejo, 100% agave with agave nectar.
Suavecito.
Suavecito, which is
Suavecito.
that's like
Añejo.
smooth.
So it's
Yeah.
aged.
Yes, it is
And it's
aged.
suave.
Suave just means smooth.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that already. So I'm in for flavor and I'm in for. I have to admit, I'm a little bit not happy.
¿Por qué?
Okay, because there's no art to. I'm used to the artistic bottles. You've gotten me spoiled.
The bottle is really simple.
I will say the label is is that leather?
It feels like leather.
It is leather.
It looks like leather.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of excitement.
So they went in. They went in with the leather. So yeah, Suavecito.
It better be good.
I hope so. Let's see.
Okay.
Is there anything special to this particular bottle?
No. The leather label. I've never seen a bottle of liquor with a leather label. I'll say that.
No, there's nothing special. Okay.
Maybe it was handmade.
I think all
Probably
tequila
not.
is handmade a little
I'm
bit.
talking about the label.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. The label looks like it was printed and handmade, so I rocks with that.
Okay.
But yeah, I found this tequila online, so because I am a tequila
Connoisseur?
not really connoisseur, but a tequila
Enthusiast?
yeah, enthusiast.
Not
is the
that I'm
word
trying to
I'm
finish
looking
your
for.
sentences. I
Please
just
finish
thought
my
I'd help
sentences,
you out a
because
little
I be
bit.
struggling sometimes. Yeah, because I'm a tequila enthusiast.
Had a little tequila before we started?
Because I'm a tequila enthusiast, like they make Facebook and Instagram and all of those different platforms make recommendations, and this is one of
it's
the
in your
recommendations
feed.
that I found.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna try this today
Well,
because
hopefully it's a good one.
yeah, I love añejo tequila. It is aged at least 3 years. It's aged in oak barrels. There's all kinds of wonderful flavor notes that they can add to it, and yeah, I really enjoy añejo tequila, like
Okay.
aged tequila.
Well, let's try it.
Okay, so I'm getting a lot of floral notes.
Yeah, and
from
I
this.
imagine what I'm smelling, I'm expecting a little bit of sweet too.
It's really fragrant, like
Yes, it
really fragrant.
It doesn't smell like what the other añejos smell like.
No, it doesn't smell like tequila. It smells like flowers.
I can still smell I can still smell a little bit of alcohol, but you're right, the profile
Yeah, it smells like flower and
it
oak.
has a high dimension to it.
Yeah, and it's got some long legs on it. Like
Does
it
it?
really coats the glass when you swirl it.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it really coats the glass, and yeah, the legs are. It drips really, really slow. So I think this is going to be.
So legs are how it drips down off of the glass after you've swirled it. For those who are novices like myself.
Yeah, it's got some really nice legs on it. I
Okay.
think that this is going to have some sweetness to it. I've never tried this before,
So this is new to the both of us.
yeah, this is new to the both of us.
Okay, let's do it.
Tequila novice and connoisseur.
Salud.
Salud. This is some of the smoothest and best tasting tequila I've ever had in my life.
It's smooth, but I got a little bit of tingle in the front of my tongue. Did you?
I got no tingle, but I
None?
got a warm feeling in my stomach.
I got no warm
As it
feeling in my
washed
chest or
down,
stomach.
I got a warm feeling in my stomach as it washed down. This is
I like the taste.
yeah. For me, this is premier tequila. This is
Premier-
top
that's huge
tier
coming from you.
tequila. Yes. This is top tier tequila. I've never had a tequila that has been so crisp, so clean, so tequila tasting. There are floral notes. There is oak. You can taste the oak in it.
Is there vanilla?
Everything is balanced almost perfectly. Like it is. This is the best tasting tequila
So
I've
the
ever
second
had in my
time,
life.
no tingle in the tongue, but the first time there was. But no burn. No burn in the back, no burn in the chest. Very smooth.
This is top tier tequila in my opinion, and I've had a
Okay.
lot of tequilas. I've drank tequilas. I've been to Mexico multiple times. I had tequila in the States. I've been to tequila distilleries. This is top tier tequila for any type of tequila drinker.
So you'll buy it again.
Oh, I'm going to buy 7 bottles of this. And
Seven. That's very
seven.
specific. Why
It is
seven?
because 7 sounds like a really good number.
I rock with seven. I was
I'm
born in the 7th month, so I like
I
7.
am going to buy 7 bottles of this. So if I had a tequila tasting, this would definitely be on the list.
Okay, so you connected really well with the tequila selection
I
this week.
did. I really enjoy this tequila. So if you are out and you see Suavecito Añejo tequila,
Well,
definitely get it.
speaking of good connections, our topic today is the lost art of connection and why the question, what do you bring to the table, is killing the dating vibe. Ah,
Is it killing the dating vibe?
it might be killing the dating vibe.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So, why does it feel like human connection is getting harder to find in today's world?
Because it is. No, but seriously, I think there's 2 reasons for that.
Okay.
One is that we've become extremely impatient.
Yeah. It seems we are in a world of Instacart, Instagram,
Instant
everything.
gratification.
Yeah, instant
And it
gratification.
takes time.
Okay.
It takes time to develop any type of relationship.
Yeah.
And it takes shared experiences, history. It takes time to build like that human connection. That's one.
Okay.
And then 2, I think people have become jaded. Like everybody's waiting for the shoe to drop. And so we don't trust like we used to. It feels like everybody's walking around looking for unconditional love with a bag full of conditions.
Okay. But is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing. It's like trying to fight in the ring. I'm using boxing because I think you watch boxing, right?
I love boxing.
Okay.
I watch
So
boxing.
imagine being in the ring and you're a great fighter, but you only want to hit, but you don't want to be hit.
Well,
and
that's
you
the name
expect
of the game.
not to be hit.
That's the sweet science of boxing.
But you expect not to be hit?
No, okay. So yeah, I get that.
So you have to know
You
going
have to
in that
expect
you
to
are
get hit.
going to be hit.
Yeah.
But you know well enough that I can protect myself enough to not be really hurt, or I wouldn't
Definitely.
be in here.
Right.
So I think what happens is that nobody wants to experience anything. I instantly want to be connected to you.
Okay.
I want to know up front, is this going to work? I need you to tell me that. And that's not something you can really get with words. You get that with action over time.
Right.
So I think that's why it's harder, is that we don't have the appetite for it anymore.
It does seem like we don't have the appetite for human experience. I think that, and this is just based on social media, I think that people shy away from human experience, like experiencing things
In
as
real
they
time.
happen, right, in real time without any kind of expectation or knowledge of what may or may not happen. And that's kind of crazy to me because, you know, I'm an 80s baby. So I grew up in the 90s, and I grew up in a time where we didn't have a lot of information. So we just had to fuck around and find out.
Okay. You probably had to go outside quite a bit too.
Yeah, we spent
Everything
a lot
wasn't
of
online.
time outside. Yeah, I spent a lot of times in creeks and woods and cornfields. I'm a country boy. So
Really?
I'm a
That's
country
surprising.
boy. Yeah, I grew up between St. Louis and Jonesboro, Arkansas. Shout out to Jonesboro, Arkansas. Shout out to my grandma. I love you. She is gone, but I still love her. I still love her to no end.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I grew up, walking.
I
Walking.
almost said what, but you're right. We don't really do that as a means of transportation
Yeah, I grew
anymore.
up walking and riding my bike and moving around in that manner. So, like, I got to see a lot of things. I got to take in a lot of things just walking around and moving around and riding my bike to places. And yeah, so like normal human experience is a thing that I highly value.
Mm.
And I highly value it because my upbringing taught me that normal human experiences are the things that mold you as a person. You don't get really excited about things that are non-threats,
Mm.
and it's because you have roamed around the earth and you have seen things and you have determined what is and what isn't a threat in real time. And I think that's getting lost.
I think it's made us socially, well, not us, but those who grew up in the digital age are more socially awkward because you haven't had to flex the muscle of being present, physically present amongst your peers and other people.
Right.
And it's
They
just online when you can hide behind a screen and a keyboard.
Yeah, they fear the spontaneity of it.
Oh,
We grew up having to learn spontaneity. We had to be
I
spontaneous.
didn't think about that aspect of it, but you're right.
Yeah, we had to learn, like when we would have roasting sessions between each other, you had to learn how to come with a quick comeback. Cuz if you pause and you allow people time to laugh, like that's bad on you. So the
Yeah, unless you can't
spontaneity
come
of
back.
it, people think that, at in this day and age you have hours to respond to anything. You can take minutes to really think about your response, formulate what you're
Oh,
going to come
responding in a
with.
text message or a
Yeah,
direct
right,
message.
right. So text messages, social media, emails, things like that, you have time to really think about it. But we've lost the spontaneity of learning how to think quickly and just
Do
throw
people
it out
connect
there.
over phone calls anymore? I'm finding that most people are preferring text me first, like don't call me first.
Yeah, and I think it's because of that fear that they are not going to be spontaneous enough
Or
to
just an aversion to the
to
phone
be
and talking on
interested.
it.
I don't think it's an aversion to the phone. I think if they had time to study a script and know what their comebacks would be, then they would be more likely to engage in phone conversations and things of that nature. But because spontaneity is being lost and quick wit is being a lost art, is becoming a lost art, I think that is low key crippling
Absolutely
people.
crippling because why do you need to be perfect with friends or
Exactly.
getting to know people? We all make mistakes. We all get tongue tied, trip over words, say the wrong thing. You can just come back from that and explain it or correct
Exactly.
yourself.
People are so afraid of making mistakes that they just freeze. It's analysis paralysis.
Just with a conversation?
Yeah, just with a conversation, analysis paralysis. They think so much that they just freeze and they don't
Mm.
say anything and they don't do anything because they're so afraid of saying or doing the wrong thing.
So people are connecting. Do you think they're connecting fully? I think sometimes. Well, let me let you answer the question first. Do you think people are connect when they are making connections? Is there a level of reservation
Oh, there's
there?
there's definitely a level of reservation, and the reservation comes from, again, the fear of making a mistake, of doing the wrong thing, of saying the wrong thing. Because in this day and age, there is such a steep curve to learn, and there are such severe consequences for saying the wrong thing.
Pause. Let's talk about that. What kind of consequences? Like
So
socially is what we're talking
socially,
about,
yeah,
right? What?
socially, if you say the wrong thing, specifically on social media,
Oh, see, I'm
you
talking about in person.
you will, even in person, like you will whole ass get canceled.
I've
People,
seen in converse in posts, right? I could say something as simple as I really like oranges. and someone will comment under and say, so what you're saying is that you hate bananas and apples and plums. You must really be an awful person. Like coming to crazy
Exactly.
conclusions. But I thought that was just an online thing.
No, it happens in real life too. Like it is extended to interpersonal conversations in real life.
But I feel like you have more. I'm not saying that that's not true. I feel like you have more context in person.
You do, but you have the flexibility. The flexibility is just as minute.
Then I would feel like that you're just committed to getting me wrong.
Well, and that might be the case.
And if that's the case, then I'm gonna let
There
you.
might be some situations where people are just committed to getting it wrong, or committed to their opinions no matter what. Like even if you explain the situation, like even with flat earthers, like flat earthers are a thing.
So in that case, that's not a connection at all. That's just everybody with a microphone amplifying their views. You're not connecting with anybody. So the communication is just going one way.
Well, you're not
Especially if you don't care about any other evidence being submitted to you.
right, but it's not just your connection to a person. It's your connection to people and reality and shared truth. Like we kind of have an obligation to subscribe to a consensus of what shared reality is as a society, because we all live together, we all work together, we all move together. So we kind of have an obligation to subscribe to this agreed upon shared reality. But because of social media and because of the modern day age, you don't have to subscribe to shared reality. You can find your tribe of two, three, four weirdos and only communicate with them. And so shared reality is less and less important.
That's sad.
It's sad and it's terrible and it's interesting to watch.
So in regards to connection, I have noticed there's a question that we normally use just for interviews.
Yeah.
And that is, what do you bring to the table? And we ask the question in interviews for two reasons. One, to see if you're able to articulate your position and how much you know about the job that's being offered. And two, how well you perform under that pressure.
Right.
Unfortunately, I've seen the question transfer into like a dating situation of asking, what do you bring to the table? What, in your opinion, first of all, have you ever asked that question? And what do you think people are looking for when they ask that question?
So I have asked that question.
Okay.
And the reason why I ask it is because we live in a very fast-paced society where people have the largest array of potential experiences that we've ever had in all of human history. We travel faster, we receive information faster, we live longer, we move and receive information just at a faster pace than has ever been experienced in human history, right? And so with that, we have greater expectations than what was previously had from people prior to our generation. And with those expectations comes a question of, can you fit into my vision of where my life is going to go or where I desire my life to go? And so when I ask that question, I ask it inquisitively to find out if a person meets just the minimum requirements of what I want my life and my relationships to be.
And see, I don't like the question at all. I don't. Like, I hear you, but I don't like
Yeah.
it, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Most people don't know what they want anyway.
Okay.
And what they're telling you is probably maybe close aligned to the truth, but probably not. And I'd rather pull information from what I experience and what I see you do
Okay.
versus what you say. Because anybody can say anything.
True.
And then there are some people who just can't, they're unable to articulate it. And then there's a third. I said two. I lied. There's a third. The third is it kind of puts me, it kind of takes me aback because if you're asking me what I bring to the table, in my mind, it positions you kind of as a taker. Like you're asking me what I'm bringing to the table because that's going to benefit you, or you're looking to see what benefits you. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just if you lead with that, it's a little off-putting to me.
So, in this situation, I believe that there is a very a very distinct line of separation between how women perceive that and how men perceive that question.
Okay, tell me more.
And the reason is because women tend to think more subjectively.
Mm-hmm.
Women tend to think in the context of, okay, in this particular situation, what does this question mean to me in this specific situation? Whereas men tend to think of the situation objectively, and it's more of what do I bring to any relationship.
Okay.
So men typically don't have an issue answering the question. And men who have an issue answering the question have an issue answering the question because they don't have a definitive answer for it. So what I bring to the table is, regardless of the relationship, regardless of the situation, it's the same. Mm-hmm. And whether or not it fits on your table is irrelevant. So if there's a table, here's what I bring to it. If it fits into your life, wonderful. If it doesn't, okay. I'm
So
okay
this
with
sounds
moving
like
on.
this is something that can be answered with conversations. It sounds like, are we aligned or not? That's what I hear you saying, but that's not
Right.
what I hear when I hear that question.
So yeah, and that's essentially what people are asking it for. And of course there are the outliers who ask the question because they just heard it on social media and they're asking for the
There's a
sake
lot
of
of
asking.
outliers.
Yeah. Yeah, there
There are
are
a lot of
outliers.
outliers.
But for the people who genuinely are seeking information and wanting to know, like, okay, here's what I want to do in life, and I need to know if this person is going to be if this is going to be a symbiotic relationship or a parasitic relationship.
Okay, you're gonna have to break that down for the people that follow us. What's symbiotic?
So symbiotic means there is a mutual benefit to the connection that's being made. Parasitic means that one side benefits way more than the other.
Like parasite.
Right. So if you have a parasite, this parasite is living rent free in your body, and you are either experiencing no benefit from it or you are suffering from it. And that's why parasites are typically viewed as a bad thing. But when there's a symbiotic relationship, there's a mutual benefit to it. And so when I ask the question, I ask it to find out if this relationship is going to be symbiotic or if it's going to be parasitic.
Have you ever had a situation where you did ask the question was answered, and then it didn't match the
Yeah.
person? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's why I think the question is irrelevant.
Well, it's not
I
irrelevant.
can see it being a precursor, maybe.
Right.
Is it like a vetting tool?
It is a vetting tool.
Okay.
It is a vetting tool. And people who shy away from it, I usually shy away from those people. Because
You shy away from answering it, or
yeah, people who shy away
Okay.
from answering it. Because if you don't know what benefit you bring to a relationship, like if you can't express what benefit you bring to a relationship, any relationship, not just a relationship with me, not just in the context of me, not just in the context of what I do for you,
but just in general, like
generally
your strengths,
speaking,
basically.
right? Yeah, yeah, and it's just like a job interview. Have you
But
ever?
it shouldn't be a job interview.
But it is.
Okay.
But it
All right.
is.
I'm
But it's
sorry,
just
your
like a
question.
job interview. For me, someone saying, if I ask someone, okay, so what is it that you bring to the table? And they go, I am the table. For me, that's the same as an interviewer at a job saying, okay, so what skills will you be bringing to us? And then the person goes, well, I am the job. If you do that in an interview, they're going to look at you like, are you
But it's not
stupid?
the same.
It is
I
exactly the
understand what
same.
you're saying, but it just
It
it
is.
changes the tone
It is.
of it
It,
because one is very professional, the other is very personal.
well, professional and personal can be combined. So if you conduct your life professionally, you will have more success in life. I think that people who make the separation, they make the separation because they don't want to exercise the discipline that's required in their lives to succeed in their lives. Like they don't want to take on the same discipline that's required to succeed in a company that they require to succeed in their lives. But if you look at it, if you run people who run their lives like a business are extremely successful.
Okay, but I'm talking about connecting, like human connection.
Yeah.
I'm more social and not nearly as serious as I am in like a corporate setting.
Yeah, and I mean you
So as
can
far as approach, I get you.
right.
Totally. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna approach it in an organized, systematic manner, but I'm gonna be more loose and carefree amongst my friends versus my coworkers, my managers, directors.
Right. And that is a thing that you can do. That is that is a thing
And
that
I do
that
understand
you
what you're
can
saying.
do.
I just feel like there's a bit of a separation.
And I don't think there should be. I think that people should conduct themselves similarly in both their personal lives and their business lives because they do translate well from one another. If you notice, like the most successful people in business, they also tend to be successful in their personal lives. Like,
Or have a very small personal life. So I guess it depends on the level of success that we're talking about. So
right,
when you're talking about very high levels of success, you've sacrificed a lot. And that there's nothing wrong with that if you've already counted the cost and that's fine for you. Then I get that. But there's like you can't be at a very high level of success and then have a very high social life
so
because
I
you're busy getting to the business.
right,
Like
and
I think there should be, I shouldn't say should, just because that depends on the person. But for me, I need to strike a balance.
so the balance, in my opinion, is to be consistent in both your social and your business life. To have consistent ideologies, to have
I agree
consistent
with that.
uh, application, consistent views, consistent perspectives, consistent ways of going about things.
Okay.
So
I think we're saying the same things in different ways.
we are
Okay.
saying the same things in different ways, but I think the consistency is important, and there are some people who don't understand the consistency of business and personal life. They think that it should be a complete separation, and for those people, I disagree because if you conduct your personal life as if you were conducting a business, you would be more successful in your personal life.
I just had a moment of clarity. An example came to mind.
Okay.
So I was supposed to go out on a date. The guy was supposed to plan the date. He wasn't a planner, like at
Okay.
all. That was shocking because he had his own business. And it was kind of like, well, we'll just, like, I'm asking for details. Well, we'll just see. I'll let you know in a couple of days. And I thought, okay, because I planned far out. So,
Right.
okay, maybe he doesn't plan far out. So the day of it was still, we'll just see what happens. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to just see what happens. I
Yeah.
need to kind of know what's happening. So that
Exactly.
led to a conversation about, like, how do you plan your day? Like, what are your goals? And it was the same thing, like, even in business. So it was like, that was a huge disconnect for me. Because it's like, okay, you're running like a whole business successfully, I might add,
Right.
but it's not because of your planning skills, it's in spite of your planning
Exactly.
skills. So, as far as approach, I agree with that. As far as tone, I still think it should be different. But needless to say, we didn't go on a first date or any other date because that was it.
Right. So even though you believe that it should be different
The
because it
approach is the same.
because it wasn't the same, you were kind of taken aback by
I was
it.
super disoriented. Like, how
Yeah.
do you keep track of your jobs? How do you know how much you're making in a month? Like, how do you know if you have enough work going on in a week? You just go
Yeah.
by taking jobs randomly and hope for the best?
Exactly.
It's like that just so I came completely undone.
So
Mentally, it was like, whoa, wait a minute. Because you said all the right things at first.
yeah,
Right? It felt fine, but then when it came to actually executing a date, it's like, why is this so hard?
and
Like,
that
this
might
can't be
be
that
that
hard.
that could very well be why he's successful in business because
Break it down. How's
because
that?
he overpromises and underdelivers. So there are a lot of businesses that thrive on overpromising and underdelivering. I can sell a good image to you. I can sell a good ideology to you, and if I can convince you to pay up front based on that
And that's why I
ideology,
don't pay up front. I pay a deposit.
I can be successful in this situation, but I don't have to deliver. I can deliver on the back end, but I already got your money. So what you gonna do about it?
Yeah, but I only give you a third.
Well, then,
And to see more. And it's funny you should bring that up. That actually happened to me
yeah,
with a friend, but because it wasn't paid, I'm still able to use that leverage. Like, we're both in this.
right.
Like, I can't mess you over. You can't mess me over, because if you mess me over, you're not gonna get your money. If I mess you over, I'm not gonna get the job done. So it was kind of like a little bit of back and forth.
But that's why deposits are important,
Yeah, but
and
I don't
that's
pay all
right, and that's
upfront.
essentially what the question is. It's you making a psychological deposit so that
I just
I
don't take a lot of
know
weight in the question because
that
people can say anything.
people can say anything, and people can say anything in an interview. People can say anything in
But so,
business.
are you looking for them to bomb the question
No, I'm
initially
not.
so that you can vet them out?
No, I'm not. I'm not looking for them to bomb the question. I'm just looking for a. Honestly, what I'm looking for is an ability to process what's happening and to be able to give some kind of answer.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. So you're just looking for an answer.
Yeah. So
You're
if
not
you
putting a whole lot of stock in, well, you said.
no, I don't invest stock in it because my stock is invested in a person's actions as opposed to
Okay.
their
We
words.
literally are saying the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
first, I'm like, wait a minute.
yeah, so but I want to know just like with job applications. The job application, it's less about getting your information because they get your information in the resume. They get your information in the beginning. It's less about getting your information and more about seeing if you are diligent enough to fill out a fucking job application. If you're not willing to be diligent enough to fill out a job application, you're probably not going to be willing to you're probably not going to be diligent enough to do the job tasks that are required.
Okay.
So if you answer the question, then I know that you are at least have done your due diligence to be able to answer the question. And if you're not answering the question, then I know that you have not done your due diligence to be able to answer the question. Because again, what you bring to the table is objective. And then you get to decide on whose table you get to take it to. So when you look at an NBA player like LeBron James, his skill set transfers to any team. He's proven it.
Mm-hmm.
He's won in Miami. He's won in Cleveland. He's won in Los Angeles. His skill set transfers to any team. But if you put him in a Cleveland team with a bunch of subpar players, they're not going to be successful.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. He's
But let
not
me
going to
ask you
win
a
with Antoine
question.
Jameson and Delonte West.
Let me ask you a question. If we dropped him off in a Major League Baseball team, are those skills still the skills are still the same, but then are they valued the same?
I think so.
You think so?
I think that his athleticism. Now, of course, he's not going to be an all-star because skills are very specific things. You can hone your skills to a very specific purpose. But I think he would thrive in any sport you put him in because his athleticism translates across different sports. I mean, look at Bo Jackson.
Yeah, well, Bo knows.
Yeah, Bo Jackson
But
was
Bo's an anomaly.
Bo's an anomaly in the context of he was crazy enough to try it.
Yeah.
But I think if more people tried
Dion did that too.
yeah, and he was fairly successful.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't Bo Jackson,
He
but
wasn't. But I think
nobody
he
is.
also has like the same approach to things across the board that helped make him successful too.
Yeah, he was daring enough to try it, and even now he's daring enough to try it. Like as a coach, nobody would have suspected that he would be an amazing coach, but he tried it, and it worked out.
So, other than this question of what you bring to the table, what are some other ways in which you can figure out whether or not somebody aligns with you or not?
I mean, with that, I think that only experience will tell.
Exactly my point.
Yeah, you can't rely
You can't
on
rush
just a
it.
person's word, but you can have qualifying questions.
Absolutely. You can have an idea on how to wean people out.
Right.
But there are some things, and human connection being one, that you flat out can't rush for a good quality, strong connection with
Oh,
somebody.
absolutely not. Yeah, there are some things that just require time and experience.
And I don't think we do that anymore. I don't think we value that anymore.
Ooh.
So many times I come across people who I say complicate their lives on purpose.
Right.
Seriously? Like
Yeah.
you just met this dude 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Why do you all have the same address? Like what's happening here? Because it felt right.
Yeah.
But the question is, was it right? Because you didn't connect. You based it off of something very flimsy.
What?
And that was something in the moment. It wasn't built on any experiences over time. It wasn't built
Right.
on actually seeing them through stuff
Yeah.
to know whether or not you actually want to live with someone.
Yeah, and I think that is based on marketing. You can have it now, you can have it immediately, you can have everything you want fast right now. All you have to do is ask the right questions. But that is a fallacy. So
Yeah, because what you do speaks so loud, I can't hear what you say.
right, yeah. So I think that part of it is based on marketing because marketing has made us
Marketing, as far as you mean the stuff that people see on social media or
right
in the media?
Yeah, exactly. So the connections that are made immediately are amplified immediately on your social media feed. I met my person and I knew right away that this was the person for me, and we got married after 7 weeks of knowing each other, and we've had a beautiful relationship for the past 3 years based on
That's
that.
not very long. Gotcha.
Right. And people look at that and they're like, well, I want to meet somebody and have
Like,
them know
Lord, you
that
did it for them.
that
Do it
I'm
for
the
me
right.
too.
Yeah, I'm the one within 6 weeks of knowing this person, and we get married and we go on a honeymoon and we have beautiful wedded bliss for the next 5 years after this 6 months of knowing each other. But yeah, and so that is marketed at people, and I think it's marketed at people to sell products because weddings. I've been a wedding photographer, so
I had a wedding, and I can't tell you how many times I had to coach myself off of something.
listen,
Particularly, I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was a cake topper. I was just going to go for simple flowers on top of the cake. And all of a sudden in my newsfeed, it was have your actual image replicated in your cake topper. And then I'm looking, and they had an option for you to upload your picture to see exactly what it would be like. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. And then I looked at how much it was. It was
So
$500.
I tell my friends,
I'm like, no way, I'm
I
not
tell
doing
my
it.
friends, if you want to get married, don't tell anybody you're having a wedding. Tell somebody you're having a party, and then make the
Yes,
party
and it's
wedding
cheaper.
themed. So as a photographer, my normal shoot would be around $400-$500, depending on how the shoot was. Same amount of time. A wedding shoot, 2,500 minimum,
Yeah,
because people are gonna pay it.
yeah. And when I'm looking for venues, I take it to the least common denominator. We're
Yeah.
having a meeting or just a party. I try not to say exactly what it is because you can pull from that and go, oh, they got money, so
Oh,
we're
yeah.
charging this amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason why I charged more for a wedding wasn't necessarily because it was a wedding, but also because I know that there are bridezillas and groomzillas out there. And the amount of work that I was going to have to do as far as like retouching and afterwards was going to take way longer than just a regular photo shoot. And so I pre-planned for that.
So at the end of the day, when we're talking about human connection,
Yeah.
how do you think we can shift back to something that feels more natural, more meaningful, and more enjoyable?
I don't think we can, because we now live in a digital age where everyone has a supercomputer in their back
I
pockets.
instantly got a little sad when you
I
said
don't
that.
I don't think it's possible, because connection is instantaneous now and everybody has access to it. 85% of the world has access to it now.
So I'm holding out hope that there are people out there that value time and real connection instead of fake digital.
There are
Yeah.
people out there who still value real time and real connection, but they are few and far in between. So good luck.
Okay. Send out my bat signal.
Yeah, you low
And it's
key need
not dial up.
you need to get one of those walkie talkies with the radio
Stop
signals
it.
and just send out just a message over the shortwave radio to
That sounds
find
like the
out who
end of I
answered.
Am Legend.
Yeah, I mean that's low key how you have to go in order to find genuine connection these days. Like the old fashioned way, where you actually
Old
meet people.
fashioned way? Y'all
Yeah,
gonna
the
quit
old
calling me
fashioned.
old.
I look, I'm old too. What is you talking about? Like I was just talking about like how I am an '80s baby. I grew up in the '90s. We walked and we rode bikes,
Yeah.
and we
School wasn't closed.
school wasn't close, and we walked to school. I walked a mile and a half to school every
Uphill
day,
both ways.
uphill both ways.
Oh,
Like I
goodness.
walked to school every day. I walked home from school every day. I saw what I saw. I still walk. Like as a 40-something-year-old man, I walk to work every day.
Okay.
Walk to work and walk home from work, because I enjoy the process of walking.
Yeah.
So there are some people who enjoy the old ways.
The old ways. I'm not gonna accept that. I'm not gonna accept that. That's
There
the
are some
old
people who still
ways.
enjoy the old ways, but again, they are few and far in between. So good
I
luck.
once had a guy ask me if we could be best friends. That's not how that works.
I don't
I have
know.
never had a person ask me, can we be best friends? It just evolved into that.
I've been out drinking tequila with people and asked, can we be
That's
best
different
friends?
because there's an influence there, and maybe he was under the influence. But when
Yeah.
I tell you how hard I swipe left,
Look, if you can introduce me to some good tequilas and some dollar beers, shout out to
everybody's your
Mexico.
best friend then,
Look,
right?
we can be best. I want to know if we can be best friends. I'm going to come back to this small town in Mexico or Guatemala or Colombia, and I'm going to visit you regularly because you introduced me to some new things, and I love it.
Okay.
All right, so that concludes our topic for today and our tequila tasting. I hope you all enjoy. Salud.
Salud.